Hello, this video will walk you through making a PeerMark assignment into a required reading assignment in Turnitin. To get started, I'm started in my WB8s class, and what I'm going to do is create a new assignment. I'm going to create a paper assignment. What I'm going to call this is Sailing to Byzantium Required Reading. I'm going to set a 0-point value on this paper assignment because I'm not going to actually have students submitting to the paper assignment itself. And on the due date, I'm going to set the due date to today and for right around now. This is just to further prevent the students from submitting to this particular assignment because this is where I'm going to put the papers for the required reading. And I'm just going to make sure that this is set to not allow late submissions, so to not allow submissions after the due date. And it's not going to submit the things that I'm submitting to the assignment to the repository. I'm going to click Submit. What I'm going to do now is submit a paper. I'm going to submit the documents that I want my students to read as part of the required reading assignment. And so to do that, I'm just going to go in. I'll just put in John Doe because it doesn't really matter. And the title is going to be Sailing to Byzantium. And I'm going to browse for the file, and it's right there, Sailing to Byzantium. Open, upload, and that's going to take me into the confirmation page. So this will show me the text. It's just like a regular submission. So this is the text of the document that I submitted. It is, of course, WB8's Sailing to Byzantium poem. I'm just going to submit and get my digital receipt. And then if I wanted to submit more required reading, so if I wanted my students to read more than one poem, well, I should have named the assignment something different, but I don't. So my title is just fine. I'm going to go back out my class assignment list by clicking on the name of the class. And what I'm going to do now is create a PeerMark assignment by clicking Create a New Assignment, PeerMark. And in the PeerMark assignment, I'm going to base it on the Sailing to Byzantium required reading assignment. I'm going to give it a point value of 15 points because my required reading assignments are worth 15 points. Under Show More Options, I'm going to choose to allow students without a paper to review because none of my students will be submitting to this, the based on assignment. I do want my students to start on May 24th, to start writing these reviews on May 24th. The due date is set for June 7th. I can change that just by clicking on these calendars, but I'm not going to. And continue. This does happen to be set correctly. I want my students to automatically receive one paper to review. That paper will, of course, be the Sailing to Byzantium paper. I could edit and change the number of papers if I happen to have submitted more papers. So if I wanted to read 2 papers and I had submitted 2 papers, I would change this to 2 or 3 if there were 3 papers, what have you. But I'm not, so I'm going to save and continue. And now I'm going to add my questions. These are the questions I want my students to respond to in their required reading assignment. I can click free response and then type in questions for them to respond to or scale. I do happen to have, though, a library that I've already created. So I'm going to go into that library and I can add the questions individually, or I can add all of these questions at once. I do want to add all of these questions at once. These will be the questions my students respond to. I do have minimum word answers set, so they do have to have answers of at least a certain length going in. And I'm just going to save and finish. And my required reading assignment is created. So now when my students go to do required reading, they'll open their PeerMark assignment, they'll click Start Review. That will give them the Sailing to Byzantium paper. They'll have to respond to those questions, and I'll be able to see it inside of my PeerMark assignment inbox. Just by clicking View, it takes me to the inbox. All of my students' name will be listed. All of their responses will be there. Required reading online through PeerMark is done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.